Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In this video, I wanted to go through how we shot this short film last week, and more specifically, how we achieved consistent lighting throughout the entire environment. We're currently still in pre-production for the short film, but we're pretty close to finishing it. By the way, this video is sponsored by Milanote. If you're planning your next creative project, you can try Milanote for free, links in the description. Let's just jump straight in. Alright, let's start with the pre-production, of course. We're in Milanote right now in the main board of the short film. I like to keep it quite clean and simple, especially since I use the phone app on set, and I think it's quite important that you can quickly navigate through the different boards. I added a few different items to this board, but this is mainly the source of navigation to the individual boards of pre-production alongside a to-do list. I have imported the script I wrote into one of the boards so I can refer back to it at any time. I also added some notes and clips I took during rehearsals. This way it was easier for me to refer back to what worked and what we could try during the shoot.
Okay, we'll just say you're sick. We'll just say so.
His scouts on with like a little
Moving on to the shot list, there was pretty much only 7 shots we had to get, and there were only minor changes to the lighting in between. But because there was a lot of improvisation, we did get quite a lot of takes. I like to use a spreadsheet for this, as that's kind of what I'm used to, as I usually print out these documents and make a folder. However, this may not be needed in the future, as I can just use Milanote on my phone or on an iPad. If you've been following my channel, you may notice that my lighting plans often influenced by the set extensions I plan to do in post. Mainly because many of the projects I've been working on have been my short films and they were all self-funded. So we didn't really have a budget to get the location we wanted or to rent out larger lighting packages. Regarding the 2 top lights, I ended up not adding extra diffusion as I originally planned because I wanted to have slightly sharper shadows, although there are already some diffusion on the light fixtures. We also ended up making a rear fire, although it wasn't bright enough, so I added a Nanlite tube light just off the camera pointed at the actors. Moving on to the visual effects prep. The reason I decided to do set extensions in post is because I wanted to have control over the lighting of the entire environment rather than just a smaller area. This way the lighting stays consistent over the entire frame. Here are some of the reference images I found that helped me figure out the exposure levels and the general color palette I wanted to go with. We shot the entire film on the Blackmagic Pixis 6K on the Sirui 60mm anamorphic lens. Thank you so much, Simon, for allowing us to use your camera on this shoot. We got to location at around 8:30 in the evening and we were shooting until 4 in the morning, which was quite exhausting but ultimately very fun. I want to give a huge shout out to the cast and crew. All of their social media links are going to be in the description, so definitely check them out. And also don't forget to check out Simon's and Scott's YouTube channel. They have really cool videos. While shooting, I had my phone and very often looked at the script, the shot list, reference images, the lighting plans on the Milanote phone app. This is quite useful since I have everything on there, so I can quickly jump in between boards for whatever I need. This is why I also mentioned keeping the boards easy to navigate, so you can find whatever you need very quickly. What's really good about using Milanote is that it comes with quite a lot of templates, so you don't have to build everything from scratch, which is what I did with a lot of the pre-production boards. I basically just select the template and then replace the information. The templates are also great to get inspiration for clean layouts. Moving on to post-production. So for me, everything usually starts with searching through and looking at a lot of different reference images and videos. I found this one on ShotDeck. I thought this is a great reference for how the overall colors should look. I really like the nighttime, the kind of gray and slightly green colors of the background, and also how the fire looks quite warm. And I can just add notes so I can refer back to this when working on the shots. I also found this image from Lord of the Rings and I really love the composition. Specifically how we are on top of a hill and we see the ground descending. This looks more like blue hour rather than nighttime, but the overall composition is absolutely amazing. I also found this great nighttime reference from Harry Potter. I specifically love the texture of the fog and the overall exposure of the image. You can also see how the colors are less saturated because it's nighttime. So let me also quickly import the latest version of the wide shot from the film. I feel like you can notice how the environment was influenced from the reference images, just taking little bits from each reference in combination with my own style. These are not the finished shots yet, however there is only 1 or 2 wide shots and the rest are either 2 shots or mid close-ups, and those are generally quicker to finish because you're focusing on smaller areas. I also made the visual effects spreadsheet inside of Milanote. This allows me to track the progress of each VFX shot, and as you can see there are quite a lot. In In fact, every single shot in this film has some sort of visual effects, as the entire film was shot on green screen. So far, 3 shots are somewhat completed, although I have some minor notes that could improve them slightly. The biggest part is adding subtle wind to the trees and plants in the 3D scene, so there's some movement. So for the white shot, this is the latest version of the 3D environment I rendered. I rendered it with a daylight HDRI and then color corrected it to match the live action plate. Then I imported the depth pass, which looks like this, and then used an adjustment layer to lift the shadows to make it look like there's haze. I then imported some atmospheric fog stock footage from my website, Visual Effects Pro, links in the description to the entire VFX library if you're interested. I wanted to add texture with these stock assets, so I adjusted the alpha of the image so it's much more transparent and only denser parts are visible. Then I reduced the opacity to like 2 or 4%. Then I masked around the area I want to include from the live action plate and keyed the green screen around the characters and the trees. Then further color corrected the entire environment to give it a cooler look. In the final comp for this shot, I added back some of the warmer colors to the fire as that got a bit lost. Lastly, I ended up grading this shot in After Effects, as I basically have access to all the different layers of this shot, so I can probably do a better job in here than in DaVinci Resolve. Of course, graded this shot with Film Convert, still my favorite grading tool. I basically did the same process for the other shots within this film. Anyway, the film is coming within the next 2 weeks, guys, so please subscribe and please let me know what you think of the film when it's out. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.